Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm coming on to talk a little bit about the full moon energy, the full moon in Leo that was on February 16th. Today is the 17th, but we tend to feel the full moon energy a few days before or after, even the peak of that energy being on the actual day of the full moon. And usually and typically full moons are all about emotional release and letting go of what no longer serves. So it's a time for reflection, self-reflection, and emotional healing, shadow work, integration, things like that. So yesterday, so the night before, not last night, but the night before, I was picking up on the energy pretty strong of the full moon. I noticed because I woke up like just wide awake with so much energy, which isn't always the case in the mornings for me. And I was driving to work and I was tuning into Archangel Sandalphon for guidance on a particular client that I am going to start working with soon. And then I also was asking for guidance for myself. And on my latest video that I posted a couple days ago, I did a Q&A with Archangel Sandalphon. So he is the Archangel of Music. And he's really good about giving signs through the radio, songs on the radio, which I love to ask my guides for anyways. That's just a fun way to get messages. But so that's kind of what I was in the process of doing. I was chatting with him about different things and asking for messages through the songs on the radio. And I got some really clear messages come through, and then kind of a impromptu emotional release started to happen. And I, felt like it was a mix of me trying to transmute, or it was a mix of energies coming in and thoughts and emotions coming up. It felt very much about the mother energy, the wounding of the mother is what I was picking up on really strongly in that moment with my own mother. But also for the collective, it felt like there was something there. And within, a short, very, very short period of time, I'm talking like, 5 to 10 minutes in that type of time span, about 3 different songs played in a specific order. And I felt and saw signs and synchronicities of energies of a bunch of different guides that just kind of came in all at once. Let's see, it started with the song, which was Freddie, Mercury, and David Bowie song. And so they were definitely present. And then I saw my Pleiadian starseed family was with me in a symbol that represents their energy that I saw. And then I also felt Jesus with me and got a sign of his energy around as well. And then Mother Mary as well, because she's kind of been around a lot more with me also during this time. Her presence just feels very strong to me on the planet right now, in general, working with the collective. So I was guided today to do a video message about that, about the mother wounding, about what this healing work is really all about for us. And I've invited, I was picking up on that this also has to do with Mother Earth. So I've invited Mother Mary and Mother Gaia to step forward and to share some of the message that they have for us about what's going on and just what we might be picking up on. I also had someone close to me share a very deep healing that happened with her over this time period with the full moon energy. That was a mother wounding, so it really resonated with her. This message, that was just another confirmation for me to share with you some thoughts about that and guidance. So I've already tuned into their energy as soon as I invited them in. I was just kind of going to jot down some general ideas of what they wanted to talk about, but I was getting a full-blown message come through as I was writing. So I'm like, okay, apparently there's a lot to say about this topic. So let's just start with, it was Mother Mary that came in first. So I'm going to ask her to kind of step forward again. She's really right here, actually, very close and directly in front. So the question I started to ask her when I first started channeling before I got on here was, what is the message for us around healing the mother wound in the collective at this time? And I started to hear crystalline energy fields being activated. She was saying something about a time of renewal and rebirth, a process of cleansing, clearing karmic debt related to separation from Mother Earth. Living in disharmony, discord with ourselves, the mother within, our nurturing side. So these are just kind of like a lot of things that started just coming through. So I could read that, I could read the rest of it, but I actually just got to a place where I was like, okay, I just want to channel more directly. So I'm going to ask her to pick up where she left off, or to just start with what she wants to share. So she's highlighting the mother wound is related to any traumatic experience. And she's saying it can be pre-birth, birth-related. It feels birth-related. She's highlighting birth. So she's saying this wound relates to our ability to give birth or new life to new ideas and creative visions. She's highlighting disharmony. She's saying it causes a sense of disharmony within, discord within this wound that we feel throughout the collective. It is a collective energetic wound that has to do with Mother Earth and our relationship to Mother Earth. Living in discord with Mother Earth, disharmony with Mother Earth and the creatures of Earth for so long has created this sense of separation and feeling of being lost and abandoned by our mother. It's triggering these feelings within us. This is the deeper wound that the collective is in the process of reconciling at this time, in these times of ascension. The process of reconciliation and healing is occurring within the hearts of mankind, of humankind, as a way to bring them back home. And then she's saying suffering, to reduce the suffering, to reduce the conflict on Earth. And there's a lot of tension she's showing. And she's saying between mothers and fathers, is that what you're showing? She's highlighting tension within, actually. It's like parental tension. I don't know. It just feels like there's discord within even the family units. At this time, it's showing up in discord in how parents parent. So there are conflicts between parents and parenting roles of society, and how society views these roles is somehow related to this. But I'm not sure where she's really going with that. she's just highlighting the suffering. She's saying, she's just highlighting the ways that people are suffering from as a result of this deeper traumatic wound. It's the wound of Mother Earth's heart she's showing, that's surfacing. It's the wound of her heart to be separated from her children. For her children, the feeling is like for her children not to know her, and I'm getting a very strong vibration coming through in resonance in my body with that. And she's saying Mother Earth's heart is hurting. There's been suffering caused to her by the taking away of her children has caused a wound within her heart and a feeling of separation and disconnect from her children. So it's kind of showing, she's kind of showing how it goes both ways. It's like we feel as her children abandoned and rejected and lost to who we are and where we come from. It has to do with knowing our purpose, expressing our creative side, being able to birth new projects, new beings, even into life. So there's many layers and dimensions to this wounding, but it's a wounding of the heart, and a Mother Earth's heart is hurting, is what I'm feeling and sensing over this. And she's ready to reconcile this. She's ready to heal from this. And she's asking, and she's kind of, stepping forward a little bit more now. She's asking us as light workers and way showers to spend some time treating that wound or addressing that wound in our own hearts, because that is what's going to allow her to fully heal the disconnection. It's like she's saying she's ready to be reunited with all of her children, all of God's children, specifying human children, because there's many other children that she has, but she's wanting to make amends with the human race, and she's saying forgiveness is necessary, non-judgment is necessary, having love in your heart for all of mankind is necessary, being willing to put your differences or points of view aside is necessary, and giving gratitude for your gifts, for your treasures, or for the treasures in your heart. It feels like the treasures that are what your heart wants to speak, the truth that your heart wants to speak, honoring that truth. So she is highlighting like there's a need for some warrior type energy, some Joan of Arc type energy for us to really heal these wounds, because it's going to require that we speak our truth as well, that we share our gifts with others, that we are more open to expressing these creative gifts with others, because that is what is going to allow the rebirth to happen, the birthing process to happen. She's highlighting that we are sharing in this birthing process with her. She is birthing a new earth and is in the labor part, the painful labor stages of giving birth to a new earth. But we are her, it's like we are going through this process with her, and we are having to shed layers. We are being asked to shed and release layers of our identity of who we thought we were, that are really barriers to our ability to connect with the mother inside of us, she's saying. We are being asked to connect to the mother within, the nurturing side of ourselves, the caring side of ourselves. This is starting to get into some of the stuff that I was writing down earlier, because she was saying earlier, the mother within, our nurturing side, and the wounds that need to be healed. So this has to do with like how we were fed and taken care of when we were younger. Did we feel lost or abandoned? And our connection to our own mother. So these are questions like our connection to our own mother is symbolic of our connection to Mother Earth and what wounds Mother Earth might be feeling or I'm hearing neglected. So is Mother Earth, are you feeling neglected? And how she might be feeling neglected is what she's saying. Getting a lot of like bits and pieces here. So bear with me as I try to sort through this and put this together in a way that makes sense for us. She was saying, so it's like security issues I'm hearing, issues around security, how well you feel you were cared for, given love from your own mother is going to express through you in these wounds, in these traumatic behaviors or feelings of being lost and fear of being rejected and abandoned. So the question I was starting to go in that I wrote down was, did we feel lost or abandoned in our connection to our mother? Or this is about our connection to our mother. It reflects our connection to our mother, reflects old traumas that are blocking the pathway for receiving love. And they're bringing up, and then I was writing down what I was getting that at that time was mistrust and betrayal are all representations of our disconnection, or can be representations, feelings of mistrust and betrayal can be symbolic of how we felt disconnected from our mothers and disconnected from source. So would you like to add any clarification on that, Mother Gaia or Mother Mary? I'm hearing yes. Just that all disconnections from people in your physical life, close relationships, any woundings from people that matter to you the most are representations of the blocks that are like the barriers to your ability to receive love, receive abundance, receive nurturing from the outside world and from Mother Earth. So it's like a two-way pathway of energy. When we are blocked in our heart chakras from any type of wounding that we've received from any parent, really, it's not just about the mother, but because of the association with Mother Earth and giving birth, this is tied to our creative expressions and our ability to give birth to new ideas and to carry those ideas forward. The warrior energy and archetype is what is needed at this time. This is the archetype, the Joan of Arc archetype is what we're being called to attune with or align with to serve our highest missions on earth. And that doesn't mean like fighting and going out there and being so like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean? Like, just it's not about fighting people. It's about loving and non-judgment, but finding that warrior within. So finding that strength and power within to stand your ground and to stand up for what you believe in and to share, again, your creative expressions as a way to influence and inspire people to action is what she's saying. So that's the archetype that's being drawn and called forward. But it requires a willing to let go of the past hurts and the past traumas and to develop a stronger connection to Mother Earth. It's important that we look at our mother wounds in this way and get a clearer perspective on the ways that we just reflect on your own relationship with your mother how safe you felt in that relationship, how nurtured you felt, because your nurturing side, the mother within you, is the part of you that has compassion for yourself, that gives you love, that gives you nurturance, that gives you gentle, loving guidance. How do you talk to yourself as your own mother is what they're highlighting, is going to draw your attention when you start reflecting on that very question. Journal on that question. In what ways do I nurture myself? What does my self-talk reflect? How does my self-talk reflect the ways that I might be wounded? There might still be wounds. And she's showing and highlighting the relationship. This is all about the relationship between the mother and the inner child. So if we can imagine that we have all of these living, just as we're channeling archangels and archetypes and Mother Mary, who we perceive to be outside of ourselves, within our psyche, the structure of our psyche and personality structure, we have different parts. And I know this from my studies of counseling psychology. When I was studying to be a counselor, we learned different methods of therapy, and one method that really resonated and does get very good results is the family systems therapy method. I believe that's what it's called. But basically, you've got you talk to each part of yourself. So you've got a mother, you've got a father, you've got an inner critic, you've got an inner child. So all these different personalities can come out and through. So really, it's about finding, honing in on that relationship between the inner mother and the inner child, and that's going to reflect how your relationship was with your own mother. And so we're healing that, but we're doing it not necessarily by involving our actual parent in that situation. We're actually talking to the inner mother and inner child that live within, and we're creating more harmony, more love between those parts that are within, and then that reflects outwards through our relationships with the actual people in our lives. So this is really about just being able to go within and look at these parts and talk to them. They're showing in a way that's loving and compassionate and understanding. So it's just about, Mother Mary's kind of saying, it's really just about learning how to talk to yourself and talk to these parts in a way that is healing, in a way that is loving and nurturing and empathic, she's saying, to their perspective. So non-judgment, acceptance, giving permission to share their perspective with you. So channel that, she's saying. Channel your inner mother and channel your inner child if you wish to grow and reveal in these areas where there might still be traumas. And then heal through your connection to Mother Earth. Allow the emotional release. Utilize the time of the full moon energy, not just this full moon. This isn't related to just this full moon. This is every full moon. This is continuous work, but it's important work because it's what's helping to heal Mother Gaia and to reconnect those lost souls, to bring those lost souls back to her children, who she wishes to care for and nurture and give more abundance to. The pathways are, when the pathways of receiving your heart are blocked, abundance cannot flow freely and you feel lost, you feel unwanted. There are many souls out there in the collective that feel lost and unwanted and uncared for, improperly cared for neglected because they've lost this connection with Mother Earth. And it is us light workers that are going to help rebuild that connection, make that connection stronger through our own connection with our own self and these two parts that live within. And healing that bond is symbolic of us helping to heal that trauma and of separation from Mother Earth and how she feels about that, because it is sad. She's saddened by that loss, and she's wanting to recover, her strength back, like through her connection with everyone. So I feel a pullback of energy with that. I was guided to bring some decks out, and I have 3 decks on my table. So I'm going to pull some cards for clarification, but I'm being drawn to pull from this specific deck right now, and that is the Sacred Forest Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. And let's just see, just start shuffling, and I'm going to see like what cards, and I'm feeling like this is a message maybe from Mother Earth that wants to come through, a clarification, or in addition to what else we need to know about the wounding or the healing work that we're being called to do at this time. And this is a card, it's expansion. Okay, so it says the spirit guardian of summer, which is expansion. So I'm immediately hearing with this one, it's a tree and it's got a lot of fruit on it. There's a bird, and it's the tree of life, essentially. The tree of life, the garden is growing, I'm hearing. And there's more and more seeds are being planted. And this birthing process of maturity, growing to maturity as the seed grows to maturity into a plant, is really all about learning and expansion and growth. And so this is kind of what she was referring to as is the main message around this work. The purpose of this work is for growth and expansion to happen at an accelerated rate. And they're drawing my attention back to the first thing I wrote down when I first asked this question was crystalline energy fields are being activated. So they're showing me there's a flow of energy coming in, a constant flow of energy. It's almost like we're not getting any breaks anymore. And this is to push us up out of the ground. There's just like this feeling of, in Mother Earth is like kind of showing me the soil, like a tree planted in the soil, or not a tree. It's just the soil, actually. It's like she's wanting to push a tree out of the ground, but it's a seed. But she's like using her hands to kind of push, and the ground is starting to like, come up and dirt's starting to come out, and she's like pushing us to go farther, to reach farther out. And she's showing that to be, it's almost simultaneously, she's showing us reaching out to her as we reach into ourselves, to connect here, to, connect more to ourselves and to the heart of Gaia, because our heart and her heart are as one, beat as one, she's saying. So when we grow, she grows. When we expand in our awareness of who we are and how we can heal ourselves and thus empower ourselves and thus empower others to grow to full maturity. She's saying full maturity, like the picture of this tree, which has all of these fruits on it, and a beautiful bird, it's producing fruit. It's at a stage where it's now able to produce life and to give life to the birds and other creatures. And that's essentially what her purpose is for us, or what our purpose is. Our highest mission is to give life, to sustain, to live in a way, she's saying harmony, to live in a way, a harmonious way that sustains life and gives energy and gives life to others through our expression of our soul energy, or what the sacred within, the sacred parts within. So healing these parts is part of this work, healing the collective. We know that we have this wound of separation that we've known for quite a while. So it's finding harmony again within disharmony, finding peace within chaos is really what we are being called to do right now. Finding peace within. So that's all about making peace with all of our parts, and for them to be getting along, and for there to be inner accord. I don't know if that's a word, but it feels like the opposite of discord. It's like inner harmony, peace within. And that's going to help us feel balanced and aligned with our higher self. And it's going to be easier for us to share our gifts with the world, which is what Mother Earth is really asking us to do at this time. But she sees that some of us are hesitant to do that, and she wants us to be aware of why. And it's because we just don't feel that close connection. It's like we don't feel safe in the world, fully safe in the world. And that has a lot to do with our mother, feeling safe, our mother's love, our mother's protection, to feel safe. I mean, both parents, obviously, the father energy is there as well, but it's both sided. It works both ways, but the mother energy is really honing in on our ability to create, give birth new life. That's what she's showing, and that's really what her intention is, or what she's hoping us to get out of this. It's just that's the greater calling, is to give new life to our creative ideas that resonate with our heart, where our heart is leading us. And this healing work will help us center and align with that soul expression that wants to be shared. So again, I feel the energy dying down a lot. So I think that's a pretty solid message for the collective at this time. Take advantage of the full moon energies to do these emotional releases. Take the time to check in with your inner mother, your inner child, by doing some journaling. If I get any guidance on that, or I'll share more on my private group, Intuitive Soul Rising, on Facebook. If you haven't joined that yet, please check out the description box for a link to that. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel also to get notified when I have new content. And I would love to hear also in the comments what your feelings are, like what your experiences are, if you're picking up on this energy as well, if you have had any emotional releases around this, or any strategies to heal your mother wounds, if you feel you've worked on this, or if you feel you've been called to do this work as well. I am seeing that some of us are called to do this like more deeply than others. Some of it's just more intuitive based work, but some of us are really going in there and really helping to intentionally clear these karmic pathways or lines I'm hearing. it's karmic debt. It is related to karmic debt. I'm curious about how that does relate, though. Just the karmic ties that we have with each other, the family transgenerational traumas that occur from mother wounding from the beginning of the moment that man kind of descended from the mother, like just it's like, yeah, the moment that mankind lost this connection or gave rise to power over the power struggle, or the domineering dominant having dominion over Mother Earth versus living in cooperation. That's what she's showing me, the concept of how this wound was originally created. But she's saying it is the original sin, and that's interesting. It's the original sin. It's like turning against your own mother is like turning against yourself, turning hate on towards yourself. And that was the biggest mistake of mankind that led to this descent in consciousness. It is a catalyst for growth in a way, and it is a cycle of nature, but interesting. That's one way to look at it, being the original sin. Turning against what created you, what allowed you to exist. Wow, it's pretty deep. All right. Well, yes, please let me know how this message resonated for you, or anything else you would like to share that's related that you would think we would find helpful to know. Thanks again for being here. Hope you have a great week and month and cycle of the full moon that we're currently in. See you soon, and bye for now. Bye.